Hello, Bruce.
G'day, Simon.
And hello to everyone listening to us.
Hello to you. Hi. Sorry, I'm talking to you, not you.
Yeah.
Hello, you.
No, that person there.
Yeah.
No, the
that
one.
The one wearing the shirt.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. You, personally, that individual there, you know who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah.
But just in case there are any stragglers who have only just turned up, hello, my name's Simon Wells.
Yeah, it is.
His name's Bruce Fielding. And we are here presenting another exciting episode of Factoraly. What is Factoraly, Bruce?
Factoraly is something that we came up with just over 18 months ago now.
Crikey, was it really?
Yeah.
Man.
And we decided that because we were nerds, we would share our wisdom with the rest of the world.
Poor unwitting souls.
Poor fools. Yes. So we talk about stuff.
Good summary.
So today, as you've seen from the icon and the description of what you're listening to, we are going to be talking about noses.
About noses?
Noses, yes.
Good on you.
So noses are very useful. Do you use yours?
I use mine regularly, yes.
What do you use it for?
I use it for smelling things. I use it for breathing.
Yep.
I use it for filtering the air that I breathe so that it's free of dust and other particles.
Do you use it for kissing?
Generally, no.
Do you not?
No.
Because you know about Eskimo kissing?
Yes.
Do you know it's a myth?
Yes. It's really sad, isn't it? It's one of those things that everybody knows about, and it's not true.
It's not true. It's from a documentary made in 1922 called Nanook of the North.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, everybody talks about Nanook of the North, but that Nanook of the North was a real Eskimo, Inuit, filmed by a chap called Robert Flaherty.
Right, okay.
And he made this documentary. And in it, he sort of talks about how Eskimos kiss by rubbing noses, which is complete rubbish.
I wonder if he just made that up or if he saw two Eskimos going, hey, do you know what would be funny? We could convince them that we all kiss by rubbing noses.
No, he felt his documentary was a bit boring.
Right.
So he thought he'd add some spice into it by saying when Eskimos rub noses, what they're actually doing is showing respect for each other without having to take their gloves off.
Oh, okay.
Because it's very cold. And so he sort of turned this into like a romantic gesture when it's actually just a gesture of respect.
Right, okay. So they do rub noses, but it's not for the purpose of kissing.
It's not a kiss.
Right, it's a greeting.
No. He also invented igloos.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, so he kind of had this idea that Eskimos built igloos. And they didn't really before his 1922 documentary.
But now they jolly well do.
Well, they don't still.
Oh, really?
They basically live in huts.
So igloos don't
live in
exist?
Structures. They do, but not as much as you'd think.
That's weird.
He also invented them hunting with spears.
Okay.
Because in 1922 they had rifles. Why would you use a spear when you've got a rifle?
Fair point.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And then this complete charlatan went on from Eskimo kisses and he made another documentary which is also completely full of lies and rubbish, which is called Moana.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So all of the nonsense around the Pacific Islanders, a lot of that is down to the same guy, Robert Flaherty, who just made it up.
Wow.
Things like tattoos is completely nonsense.
But it's in Disney, Bruce. It must be true.
So what is a nose? Why do we call it a nose?
Really boring. It's always meant nose. Old English nosu, from Proto-Germanic nuso, from Proto-Indo-European nes, meaning the thing on your face that you smell with.
Yes.
So very simple, very boring. They're mainly an olfactory organ, so you use them to smell things.
Yeah.
And also to taste things. You know how you can't really taste things properly when you've got a bunged up nose, when you've got a cold?
Yeah.
Somewhere between 75 and 95% of our taste comes from what we smell.
Right.
Therefore, if you can't smell, your taste is reduced.
And this is why your nose is that way up. The reason why your nose is the way up that it is, and the way humans have evolved, is because actually that part of that tasting the food is the smell of the food. So as the food's going into your mouth,
Oh.
You're tasting it with your nose. If your nose was the other way up,
Yeah.
you wouldn't taste the food.
Brilliant. So your nose has to be pointing towards your mouth.
Yes.
That's great. I'd never thought of that. Another thing the nose does is to regulate the temperature of the air that you breathe in, assuming you're a nose breather, not a mouth breather.
Yes.
The warmth of the nose, it's absolutely full of blood vessels and things.
Yes.
It warms up the air so that when the air reaches your lungs, it isn't too cold.
See our episode on camels to see how this works as well.
Please do. Absolutely. And there's a rule of thumb, not a rule of nose, called Thomson's nose rule, which came up in the 1800s. And it suggests that if you live in a colder, drier region, you'll generally speaking have a longer, thinner nose.
All right.
So that there's more of the nose to warm the air and sort of hydrate it slightly. People in hotter, more humid areas tend to have shorter noses because they don't need that function so much.
And people who live in cities have thicker nose hair.
Because there's more stuff in the air to filter out,
Yes.
presumably.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. The other thing I love, your brain deletes your nose.
Okay.
So if you close one eye, you can see your nose.
Yes.
But if you have both eyes open, you can't see your nose.
Do you not spend half your day staring cross-eyed at your nose like I do? Yeah, you're right. You're aware it's there, but you don't really care about it.
Yeah, your brain literally deletes it from your field of vision.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Like a Doctor Who perception filter.
if you say so.
I do.
So, do you have a suit?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. On the jacket of your suit, on the sleeve of your suit, do you have buttons on the end of your sleeve?
Yes, I do.
Do you know why you have buttons on the end of your sleeve?
Up until this very moment in time, I had never really given it much thought. But
Right.
no, I suppose I don't. The cuffs aren't open.
So the idea was that if you employed servants or you had staff and you give them a uniform, and the uniform would normally involve a jacket, but because handkerchiefs were quite expensive, those people would use the sleeve of their jackets to wipe their noses on.
I think I can see where this is going.
So what the owners of the uniforms would do is sew buttons
Right?
on the sleeve of the jacket to stop the staff from wiping their noses on the sleeves.
That's brilliant.
And what they did instead was they gave them what are called weeper shirt cuffs. It's like a very long shirt cuff. It's called a weeper because it's like you can dab your eyes with it and stuff, but you can also blow your nose on it and things. And you can still see weeper shirt cuffs today on QCs, on a posh barrister.
Oh, yes.
If they're in full regalia, that includes weepers.
Yes, I can picture that.
And they wear them at, sort of big events like, the coronation or something like that. They'll wear their weepers.
Yeah. I can sort of picture people in sort of Elizabethan times with big flouncy sleeves. I'm picturing Lord Percy in Blackadder II.
Yes.
He sort of had it sort of made it look like he had a handkerchief falling out of his sleeve.
Yes.
But that was actually part of his sleeve.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Is that really any better than wiping your nose on your sleeve?
Well, the thing is, it's very cheap to chuck a cotton shirt into the wash. It's very expensive to clean a
jacket.
a woolen jacket.
Yeah, that's true. Fair point. And then, of course, you end up getting pocket squares in your jacket breast pocket.
Yes.
So that you can actually have a handkerchief. Well, not that you're supposed to use your pocket square for that purpose.
They're to be given to weeping women, aren't they?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
At weddings and funerals and things,
Yes, yes.
How interesting.
Do you need a nose? Because there are animals that don't.
Okay.
So you can either have lots or none. So jellyfish, for example, they don't have noses. They don't smell anything.
Right.
And you think, well, it's in the sea, of course, but then you think shark.
Yes, of course.
Very good sense of smell.
Yeah.
But then you get other ones like slugs, which I first read had 4 noses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, if you look at a slug, it's got these 4 things coming up the top of its head.
Oh, yes.
And initially, people believed that they were all noses.
Oh, right.
But they've done some research since, and they've realised that 2 of them are noses. So a slug has 2 noses.
Really?
And it also has 2 things which measure light.
Right, okay.
They're not really eyes, but they kind of measure the brightness of light.
But every cartoon snail I've ever seen has its eyes on the end of those 2 little stalks. Doesn't have noses on them.
Exactly, but they should be noses.
Well, that's
noses
weird.
And sensors.
How interesting. I had a little look at types of nose. You know, you sort of have the style of your nose.
Oh, Roman.
Yes, things like that, exactly.
Yes.
What led me to this was the fact that I seem to remember as a kid, someone once told me that my name, Simon, means snub nose in Greek.
Oh, right. Interesting.
The Greek word simos means snub nose. Generally speaking, I think Simon comes from the Hebrew Shimeon, but there's a Greek equivalent which means snub nose. And snub nose is a type of nose, which I don't have, interestingly, even though that's what my name means. So I had a quick look at the different types of nose, and there are 9 basic styles of nose.
Right.
Which include Roman, or aquiline, Nubian, straight, crooked, fleshy, button, hawk, snub, big, and crooked.
But those don't take in, like, most of the population of the world.
No, they don't. I found sort of a visual guide to go with these, which I expect we'll put up on the show notes at factoraly.com.
Factoraly.com?
That's the place, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's sort of a pictorial guide that shows these 9 nose shapes. And roughly speaking, the majority of noses fall somewhere within one of those categories with a few variations. But, you know, Roman nose has a particularly high bridge. A button nose is quite small and cute and petite and so on and so on. And there's a science, well, a pseudoscience called physiognomy.
Oh, right.
Or face reading. And this is particularly a big thing in China. They have a science called mianxiang, which is Chinese face reading. And apparently you can tell people's personality from the shape of their face, and in particular, the shape of their nose. So these 9 nose shapes that I've just listed, in some people's view, tell your personality traits. So someone with a Roman nose is said to be practical or rational. Mm-hmm. Someone with a fleshy nose is fast thinking and clever. Someone with a hawk nose has great ambition and leadership, and all these different things. So apparently you can tell a lot about a person's personality from looking at their nose. Whether there's any actual truth in that or not, I don't know. But there seem to be an awful lot of people sort of roughly sitting alongside the astrology community and the palm reading fraternity and so on, are these people who take a look at your nose and go, yes, you must be this type of person.
Is a Theakston nose in there?
I haven't heard of a Theakston.
So the Theakston nose is apparently quite popular amongst men who go to plastic surgeons who aren't entirely happy.
Oh, right, okay.
With the way that their noses look.
Yeah. And
it's modelled on Jamie Theakston's nose.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like a strong nose with a good bridge.
Yeah.
So there are lots of people going to their plastic surgeons going, can I have a Theakston, please?
Interesting. I've also heard about a Harry. Apparently Harry Kane has a particularly nice nose.
Oh, right.
Which a lot of people go for.
Would you consider plastic surgery?
No. I'm all right with mine.
I did when I was younger.
Okay.
But I don't now.
Right. Ironically, I have actually had a nose job.
Have you really?
But only for medical reasons. I have a deviated septum, so in the middle of your nose, that hard ridge that goes down the length of your nose is called the septum, and that separates your nostrils from each other. And mine is rather bent, or at least was rather bent, and it used to cause me problems with breathing, and particularly whilst I was asleep. So I had a nose job to straighten that out, but not cosmetic surgery, not done for...
So you had proper rhinoplasty?
Rhinoplasty, exactly. And I had a little look into rhinoplasty.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, in the United States at least, there are 350,000 rhinoplasty procedures per year. They can range from...
That's about 1% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They can range from anything from $3,000 to $500,000.
For a nose job?
Yep. If you go to a particularly expensive rhinoplasty surgeon, maybe you've got an awful lot of stuff to get rid of. I don't know. But they can go up to $500,000.
Goodness me.
In the UK, there are just over 4,000 rhinoplastic surgeries performed a year. So 1% of the number in America.
Goodness. There are various things that you're not supposed to do with your nose.
Like picking.
Like sticking old chewing gum to the tip of it.
Yeah, I've never felt compelled to do that, frankly.
It's actually illegal in Somalia.
Is it?
To stick old chewing gum to the end of your nose.
What on earth happened in Somalia that led to someone's deciding that should be made illegal?
I don't know, but one of the Factoralytes might.
Oh, that lot.
So if we get anything wrong, which we do frequently,
sure.
Feel free to write to us at hello@factoraly.com or go to the Facebook page or just grab us in the street, whatever you want to do, and tell us we're wrong. We like being told we're wrong.
Absolutely. We're on a constant journey of learning, just like the rest.
Always. Of course, it's not just people and animals that have noses.
Isn't it?
No. Well, aeroplanes have noses.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Nose cones.
Yeah.
On an aeroplane.
That makes sense.
And rockets have noses.
Yes, they do.
So the shape of a nose cone is directly related to speed, or the speed it's designed for. So at slower speeds, a rounded nose cone is better. But as you speed up, then a sharp point becomes more efficient in reducing drag and shock waves as well. Okay. It's very important for shock waves. And then there's sort of like, with your supersonic or subsonic, the shape of the nose should change.
Yeah.
Think of Concorde.
Yes.
Good old Concorde.
Yes.
The problem with Concorde was that to be the right shape aerodynamically for the speeds that it went meant that when it was on the ground, the pilot couldn't actually see where it was going because the nose was in a straight line. So they developed what's called a droop snoot. So the droop snoot on the Concorde actually just dropped away so that the pilot and the co-pilot could actually see where they were going when they were taxiing.
Brilliant.
And I mean, because of my interests, when anybody says droop snoot, to me, I think of a Vauxhall Forenza, but that's a whole different thing.
Have you ever been on Concorde?
No, I never got to go.
So I've been on one.
Oh, I've been on one sort of on the ground.
Yes.
Yes.
I visited Brooklands Museum.
Yes.
Ages ago and went on board. And you could sort of see that nose. It looks rather comical until you realise what an important scientific part it plays in the plane's function.
Yes.
But yeah, clever invention.
I mean, the other thing that noses do is they hold instruments. Like a lot of radar in aeroplanes is in the nose.
Oh, okay. Right.
So there's an awful lot of instruments there. And it's not just aeroplanes and rockets and things that fly through the air very quickly. It's also things like trucks.
Yes.
So trucks have to be aerodynamic. And
sure.
Aerodynamic starts with the nose.
Yeah.
The first bit to hit the air.
Yeah.
So you can improve fuel efficiency, for example, by having the right shaped nose on your truck.
Trucks tend to strike me as being rather flat-nosed.
They were for a while. They're much more curved now. They do a lot more aerodynamicists have a lot more say in what trucks look like. And if you actually look above the cabin, there's quite a lot of aero going on.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Just above there as well.
Yeah. So that's a mechanical nose, I suppose. Yes. I read about a bionic nose.
Oh!
I read about a scientist called Richard Costanzo who works in the Virginia Commonwealth University in America. And for several decades, he's been sort of trying to come up with an electronic nose that could be used for people who have lost their sense of smell through one reason or another.
Not just for sniffing out like dangerous substances. This is actually just like a personal nose.
Yeah, for general personal use. It hasn't come to anything yet. He's sort of been working on it for a long time. It's not anywhere near being commercially available or anything like that. But he had a bit of a resurgence when COVID came around, because one of the symptoms of COVID was that you lost your smell, and a certain number of people never regained their sense of smell. Yeah. So this gentleman sort of came to prevalence again, trying to work out whether they could do anything about it. And He basically had this pair of glasses with a smell sensor on the front and a little LED screen showing a readout. And he waved certain substances in front of these glasses, and the little screen on them correctly identified what the substance was.
Oh, wow.
So he waved a little pot of Windex, which is an American brand of window cleaner,
Yes.
in front of this thing, and it came up with Windex on it. He waved around a little pot of Listerine mouthwash, and it correctly identified it as Listerine. So that's just a pair of glasses that you could wear on your face. But he's sort of been toying with the idea of, well, if we can attach that sensor to an LED readout, then maybe we can hardwire it into the human brain to the part of the brain that identifies substances from the smell. And maybe we could, cure people's loss of sense of smell through that.
Good idea.
So yes, it's sort of been in the testing stages for about 30 years.
Wow.
And I don't know whether it will ever become a regularly available thing, but it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if somebody important needs it, then maybe it'll become a thing.
Yeah, maybe.
It seems to be always the way.
Yeah.
We're both very keen on words.
We are.
And expressions. And noses make their way into an awful lot of English expressions.
Oh, goody.
For example, keep your nose clean.
Yes.
Keep your nose to the grindstone. Pay through the nose.
Yes.
Don't cut your nose off to spite your face.
Looking down your nose at someone.
Yep. Have your nose in the air. Yeah, all that stuff. Rub someone's nose in it.
Yep.
Win by a nose. Actually, winning by a nose is quite interesting. That only came in once photography was fast enough to look at horse races.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You can look down your nose at somebody. You can have a nose for something. You can be on the nose about something.
Yes.
You can, if you're a young lady, you can go and powder your nose.
Of course.
Something can be under your nose.
Yes.
You can have your nose out of joint. You can thumb your nose. You can be hard-nosed about something. You can, it's no skin off my nose. Or it's as plain as the nose on your face.
Goodness me, that is a lot, isn't it?
There are a lot of nose-based expressions.
Wow, that's brilliant. I'm suddenly having a memory, bear with, looking down your nose at someone and the word toff, to be a toff. Do you know where that comes from?
No, I don't.
To be a toff, sort of a member of the upper classes, being a bit snooty-nosed, looking down your nose at someone. Yeah. The word toff is short for toffee-nosed.
Oh, right.
And apparently the higher echelons of society around sort of the 1700s took quite a lot of snuff. And in order to stop this nasty brown stuff dribbling out of their nose, which looked a bit like liquid toffee, they were called toffee-nosed, hence toff. And in order to stop that stuff running out, they would tilt their head back as if having a nosebleed, and therefore they were looking down their nose at the lower classes. Apparently, that's where that comes from.
Let's assume it's true.
Yeah. I always do.
On this podcast, Apocrypha is always
truth. Yeah, absolutely.
Always.
It's more enjoyable that way. I had a look at false noses.
Oh, wonderful.
I found reference to a gentleman called Tycho Brahe, who was a prominent 16th century Danish astronomer, and he wore a false nose after losing part of his nose in a sword duel. He had this duel with his cousin, a fellow called Manderup Parsberg, fantastic name, in 1566. And these two cousins basically got drunk and had a bit of a fight, and it ended up in a sword duel. And Tycho lost part of his nose. So he wore a prosthetic that was made of a gold and silver alloy, which was sort of blended and designed to fit in with his skin tone. And he wore this fake nose. He was nicknamed the man with the golden nose, which I rather like. And this led me to thinking about false noses. And that led me down the film industry line and facial prosthetics. And I sort of found a few famous fake noses that I'd never really noticed were fake noses. So Meryl Streep wore a prosthetic nose playing Margaret Thatcher in The Iron Lady.
Okay.
Anthony Hopkins wore a prosthetic nose playing Nixon. obviously the child catcher in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. There's no way that thing is real.
Yeah.
More obvious ones, Gerard Depardieu in Cyrano de Bergerac.
Sure, of course.
Steve Martin in Roxanne, the equivalent.
Same.
And then the complete and utter opposite, Ralph Fiennes in Harry Potter.
Oh!
So rather than wearing a prosthetic nose to make his nose larger, he had his nose digitally deleted because the character of Voldemort...
Don't say the word!
Sorry. The character of He Who Must Not Be Named in the Harry Potter series has no nose. He's written as having a flat, snake-like nose with thin slits for nostrils. And you can't really take the nose off a person to do that unless you put on an awful lot of prosthetics around the nose to build out the face.
Yes.
So what they did for the character in the Harry Potter movies, they digitally deleted his nose.
Goodness. So
if you watch any behind-the-scenes films of Ralph Fiennes, he's got these little yellow dots dotted around his face, around the outside of his nose. And then digitally, that area is flattened and turned into this snake-like looking nose. And it's so effective, you totally believe that that's the case. But you watch the filming stuff, and he just looks ridiculous. He's got all these bright, shiny yellow dots around his nose. But yes, it just sort of struck me how many people have fake noses in movies. Sometimes they're obvious, sometimes they're not.
The one that springs to mind for me is Peter Sellers.
Oh, yes.
Peter Sellers liked a fake nose.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And you look at all sorts of different pictures of Peter Sellers, that his nose is different in every film. The other famous nose is the clown's nose.
Oh, you went there. Excellent. The red nose.
So, obviously the Red Nose Day is a big thing.
Yeah.
But red noses on clowns is quite interesting. And I haven't done any research on it.
Haven't you? That's a shame. Isn't it useful that I've done it?
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
We complete each other so well.
This is so often the case on this, where I'll do something that Simon hasn't and Simon will do something I haven't. But so I just thought of red noses, and then suddenly Simon's done all the research. So Brilliant. Go ahead, Simon. Tell us all about red noses.
Right, okay. So the red nose on a clown, it belongs to a particular variety of clown called the Auguste clown. There are different types of clowns representing different elements of humanity, but the buffoon, the fellow with the crazy wig, the red nose, the big shoes, is called an Auguste clown, which is German for fool. It's one of those things, no one has a definitive answer as to where it started, but there is mention of a German circus performer in 1860 who was a bit shabby, wore ill-fitting clothes, just because he was poor, not because it was funny. And he was doing a show one day, and he fell over in the show ring and broke his nose, and blood spouted everywhere. He had a red nose. The crowd shouted out "Auguste," meaning "you fool" in German. And that was sort of the birth of the clumsy, shabby, baggy-clothed, red-nosed clown.
Well echoed.
That has been very much contested. But again, Apocrypha will out. Officially, the first person to actually properly put on a red nose as a clown was a fellow called Albert Fratellini in the late 1800s. And he was automatically identifiable, white face, red nose, big shoes, clumsy. But according to this fella, Fratellini, he said that he decided to put on a red nose because it resembled the red nose of a drunk. And a drunk person is clumsy and falls around and does silly, buffoonish things. And therefore he wore the red nose to represent that. So whichever origin you take, you can go either way.
So what is Red Nose Day and what is Comic Relief?
So Comic Relief is a charity that was started in the 1980s, I think originally to raise money to help people experiencing the famine in Ethiopia.
So like the comedy equivalent of Band-Aid?
Yes, very much that. And Red Nose Day was sort of the public live comedic event, the fundraising arm of Comic Relief. And, it had lots of comedians coming on and doing funny things. It had one of the first telethons, where the general public could phone in to that huge bank of people with arming their phones, receiving people's calls to pledge money. Mm-hmm. And it does good in different charitable events. And every year they released a different red nose that the public could buy to raise funds. And I remember there being different shapes, different materials, different sizes. I remember you could buy a red nose to put on the grill of your car.
Yes.
At one point, which my dad had when I was a kid.
You can still do that, can you not?
Do they? And now, sort of 40 years later, Comic Relief has raised £1.6 billion.
That's a lot for fun.
Through its various Red Nose Day events.
That's amazing.
So yeah, clown noses.
So, are there any records about noses?
There are, not quite as many as you'd think, actually. There are sort of animal nose records, biggest, longest, etc. But yes, I found a couple of records. Rather unsurprisingly, they're about the biggest nose. The world record for the longest nose on a living person, that is to say the record was made whilst this person was alive rather than about someone in history.
Yeah.
This belonged to a gentleman called Mehmet Özürek from Turkey. He passed away in 2023, but he had this record from 2001 until his death in 2023. His nose measured 8.8 centimetres, which is 3.46 inches, which is quite large.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna. Is that like from the bridge of your nose?
From the bridge to the tip.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah. He had a slightly hooked nose, so it sort of curved and drooped down a bit. Bruce is now holding a ruler up to his nose.
So mine's coming at 5. No, that can't be. It must be about 4.5
inches.
No, centimetres.
Centimetres. Thank goodness for that. Sheesh. Yeah, that works out. The record says his nose was roughly twice the size of most other people's.
Wow.
So that's the largest nose on a living person. The largest nose on a historical person comes all the way back from the 1770s. This one's a little harder to verify because records weren't exactly precise at the time. But this was a circus sideshow performer in England called Thomas Wedders, who was from Yorkshire.
Oh.
And notwithstanding the fact that circus performances had a tendency to over-embellish things, but according to them, his nose was 19 centimetres long, 7.5 inches.
So that's
roughly the length of a pencil.
19 centimetres? That's nearly 4 times the size of my nose.
It's big.
That's massive.
I've seen an artist's impression. I think I've even seen a waxwork bust of this fella. And if they're accurate, Cyrano de Bergerac has nothing on this guy.
Or Pinocchio.
Well, indeed, yeah. But yes, it may have been embellished. It may not be the truth. Who knows?
Goodness.
The last record I found was for the world's most sensitive nose. And this belongs to a star-nosed mole. There's a creature called the star-nosed mole, which looks exactly like a mole.
Yes.
But its nose is shaped like a star. And the reason is that it consists of 22 tentacles. If you zoom in on the nose of this thing, it's got 22 tentacles, which contain 25,000 microscopic touch organs called Eimer's organs. And it uses it to dig around in the dirt and sense changes in the atmospheric pressure. And
yeah, I mean, moles are notoriously bad eyesight, so
yeah.
I guess they have to have notoriously good sense of smell and a feeling with their nose.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
But yes, this star-nosed mole has the best sense of touch of any mammal.
Wow.
So those are my records.
Well, I'm completely out of any more nose-related facts. I mean, we've been on the nose when it comes to facts.
We have been right on the nose.
We have. And all these facts have been under our noses all the time.
And now anybody listening to this also knows all the things that we know.
So what should they do, Simon?
They should go out to the streets and shout about this wonderful podcast. They should climb to the highest mountain and chant Factoraly at the top of their lungs. If they can't be bothered to do that, yes, they could just give us a like.
Just a like? Just a thumbs up? That's
no, not just a like. That's just scratching the surface. They should also give us a lovely, shiny 5-star review on whatever podcast platform they are using.
Yes.
What else could they do?
They can subscribe on their podcast platform as well. They can spot us in the street and go, "Oi, you got that wrong."
Yes. So there we go. Thank you very much for coming along to listen to us talk about noses today. Please come again next time for another fun-filled, factual episode of
Factoraly.
Goodbye.
Au revoir.